Welcome pioneers, we are now up to the stage of unlocking particle enrichment in the hub. Particle enrichment allows our plutonium fuel rods to be created. Part of the plutonium fuel rod creation process allows us to recycle the uranium waste created from our uranium fuel rods in the nuclear power plants. Doing this allows us to have a near zero waste power setup, or you can in turn then burn the plutonium fuel rods in the nuclear power plant, but you end up with permanent plutonium waste. Press the big red button. There we go. So that unlocks in our build menu the particle accelerator, and that's one of the machines that is required in this next process. It also unlocks several recipes required to create the plutonium fuel rods. Welcome pioneers to the plutonium fuel rod production process. Here we have a pad that is 30 by 24 foundations in size. This will make 2 manufacturers of plutonium fuel rods. Everything you see here is using base game recipes. No alternate hard drive recipes have been used here. So we have, to explain why it's sized this way, one manufacturer makes half of a plutonium fuel rod every 4 minutes. The 100 uranium waste I'm generating from my 10 nuclear power plants is enough for 2 manufacturers at 100%. Hence, 1 plutonium fuel rod is made every 4 minutes. 1 plutonium fuel rod burns in a nuclear power plant every 10 minutes at 100%. My production process will create 3 plutonium fuel rods every 10 minutes. So this process of taking 100 uranium waste from 10 nuclear power plants can then be used to power 3 nuclear power plants with those plutonium fuel rods. If you look at the bottom right corner, there's an awesome sink. That is where the output of the plutonium fuel rods are dictated via that programmable splitter to send to that sink. So this is a minimal waste setup. However, if you look on the far left, there is a drone port that is connected via conveyor belt to that programmable splitter on the far right. You could change that programmable splitter to send the plutonium fuel rods to that drone port and send those plutonium fuel rods to another nuclear power plant facility and burn those plutonium fuel rods. That would then give you another 7.5 gigawatts of power, bringing you to a total of 32.5 gigawatts of power. The trade-off is you will be creating permanent plutonium waste. If you were to use my nuclear power plant build that has 50 industrial storage containers for the waste in the middle, the time it would take for those 50 industrial storage containers to fill up with plutonium waste is 6,666 hours of game time. That's a hell of a lot of time. I doubt anyone would play for that long in Satisfactory. Even I don't have that many hours overall in all my game saves I've done. If I was to extrapolate further, if I had 3 instances of my uranium setup, that would be enough plutonium fuel rods for 9 nuclear power plants. And it would take 2,222 hours to fill up those 50 industrial storage containers, giving you a total of 97.5 gigawatts of power. Even 2,000 plus hours is more than enough time for a playthrough. While this might have seemed like just a standing here and looking at the build from above and talking about it, it really requires me to talk about the reasons why it's this size, because of the maths that go on behind it to effectively deal with the uranium waste and how to have a near waste-free nuclear setup, or you could in turn create more power. Stay tuned for part 5, the final part in this series, where we'll go over the resources required for the build, as well as running through the build as the uranium waste arrives and gets processed through and creates the plutonium fuel rods. Don't forget to check out the Satisfactory Guru website. It has articles with lots of tips and tricks on how to get the most out of this wonderful game that is Satisfactory. Thank you.